the Quran. However, when we put aside presumption and when we break ourselves, the Quran suggests itself. And that is why our ulama and our masters tell us, sleep at night, and when you wake up for the morning prayers, at that point recite the Quran. Why? Because when we sleep at night, the soul, the psyche, the subconscious mind, and the conscious mind is able to rid itself to a great extent of impressions that have been created. Throughout the day, we are impressionable individuals, aren't we? We receive information, we interact with things, they mold us in that fashion. And when we read the Quran is only in accordance with the way I am. But when we sleep at night, these impressions are removed, and there is so much greater capacity when the soul awakens. At that point, it is the hand of God that writes on the sacred tablet of the heart and suggests itself, as opposed to me imposing upon the Quran. Even when we do tadabbur of the Quran, we may not understand the meaning of it. The best tadabbur is to let go of ourselves and let the Quran suggest itself. And when we engage in that process through sincerity, we find a very different world opening up. But the greatest thing about sincerity is that it deepens the intention, and that is the next principle. And we will finish, inshallah, on Monday with the principle of all principles, the mother of all, which is love. Intention, what does it signify? You see, when we make intention, it means that we are. I am alive now. Before that, I was dead. The Prophet has said that a man's action is in accordance with his intention. And the Prophet had said that intention and action are like body and soul, or body and spirit. Just as the body is useless without the spirit is inactive without the body, the mediation of the body. And the Prophet had said, intention is better than action. You can have an intention and not supply the action. That is better. But it is no good to have an action, no matter how good it is, without an intention. Why has he said all these beautiful things? Allah does not need me to sustain the world, does he? Allah does not need me to give his khums, to give the khums in his way. Look, he is catering for the microscopic organisms that are here right now. We are not sustaining them with our khums, are we? And then he has got the moon, the sun, 9 planets, and inshallah many aliens out there somewhere. He is sustaining all of them. He is sustaining the endless universe. So what can I do in the way of Allah? Nothing. And that's the absolute truth. The only thing I can do is for my own self. Intention, therefore, is an inner activity of an awakened soul. What sincerity does is, it deepens this intention. It makes it untarnished. If I am here at the pulpit of Hussein ibn Ali for the sake of Hussein ibn Ali, so that he may be pleased with me, or so and so forth, then that is not a righteous and a befitting intention. If I have come here because Bibi Fatima may intercede for me on the day of Qiyamah, then this is less than befitting. If I have come here for any of these things, it is not befitting. If I have come here because Hussein is the Lord of my soul and I am helplessly drawn to Hussein ibn Ali, then maybe that sort of an intention seems somewhat closer to what the intention ought to be. Sincerity is what deepens the intention. When we are in sajda, the answer is not this, that, oh Allah, I'm doing sajda because your paradise or your hell, or because of this or because of that, or increase in sustenance or increase in beauty. All of these are for little children, for little babies. A liberated man does not even do sajda because of the pleasure in sajda. A liberated man does sajda because, oh Lord, it is pleasing to you, and I don't want to know anything beyond it. If you ask me to befriend my enemy, for you I shall do so. If you ask me to stand against my own kin, for you I shall do so. O Lord, if you ask me to give my life, I shall do so. If you ask me to preserve my life, I shall do so. O Lord, state what you want. I have no discretion. If you want to burn me in the pits of hell, then burn me. If you want to keep me in the gardens of paradise, then keep me. Whatever you want, O Lord, I have no discretion here. This is how sincerity deepens the intention, so that the objective in an untarnished state becomes the objective and nothing else. And this is what we find in the story of this Abu Abdullah of ours and his beautiful companions. It's the night of Ashura, and it is the heaviest night for Zainab bint Ali. We hear her pleading with the moon and with the night, and says to the night, O night, do not terminate, for with the rising sun I shall be losing the apple of my eye. She is wailing and crying on this night. Hussein consoles her. It is the depth of the night, and Zainab feels the love of Hussein overpowering her. She leaves her tent in order to go and see and behold the face of her most beloved. She is advancing towards the tent of Hussein ibn Ali, but she finds the tent unguarded. She is in a state of rage. How dare Abbas and Habib abandon my brother on such a sensitive night? I shall truly go and reprimand both of them. She is Zainab, the daughter of Fatima. But before that, she pulls the curtain to see her brother, and she sees him in sajda pleading with Allah, engaged in a secret whisper. And the way Hussein prayed on that night, we are told that about 50 people of the camp of the enemies defected the enemies just listening to his prayers, and some of them came and joined his army on that night. She looked at her brother and in a rage retreated to go to the tent of Abbas. As she was about to approach the tent of Abbas, she heard voices emanating from the tent of Abbas. She stood outside. She opened the curtain and she looked inside, and she saw that Abbas is on his knees in the middle of the tent, polishing his sword. And the Bani Hashim are circling Abbas, circumambulating around Abbas as if he is the Kaaba of their existence. Abbas calls out, O son of Hashim, why have you abandoned your lands and come here? They said, O master, O Abbas, you command us. He said, tomorrow when the battle breaks out, what do you intend to do? They said, O master, the command is yours, you shall find us obedient. Akbar, Qasim, the brothers of Abbas, the sons of Hashim are all gathered. Abbas said, you shall die tomorrow when the battle breaks out first, and the companions of Hussein shall die later. Least anybody says that Hussein valued his family over his companions and friends. You will be the first ones to taste the sips of death before the companions of Hussein and the friends of Hussein. She was filled with emotions, and tears began to roll upon her cheeks. She retreated. As she retreated, she heard similar sounds emanating from the camp of Habib, from the khayma of Habib. She again pulled the curtain, and she saw Habib in a similar fashion.